So hello everybody and welcome to Creative Beat. This is the fourth episode. I hope you have had a chance to go through the last three episodes that I have been recording of my solo podcast. And there is also one other video that I recorded, just a short one, that was like an intro or a prelude to this main one. But then for those of you who are watching this for the first time, my name is Nderitu. I'm the founder and a mentor at Karakana Online. And at Karakana, our work is to offer knowledge, is to mentor, is to give career guidance, and to do something that we call information sharing. So in this episode, and also for the next several months, I want us as Karakana Online to focus on something slightly different. For the last very many years, we have been squarely dealing with Kenya's creative industry. So when I talk about creative industry, we are talking about those of you who are in fine arts, those of you who are in painting, in filmmaking, in acrobatics, in modeling and pageantry, makeup, fashion, beauty, design, photography, videography. It's extremely, extremely, extremely wide. But then tuseme kama Karakana tumekuwa kwa ground, and we have one fundamental stubborn problem, which is as artists, we are not making money. Hakuna pesa. You know, as an industry, we are struggling. Forget that as a country, uchumi ni mbaya. Hata globally, uchumi ni mbaya. Even before bei ya mafuta ipande, people were struggling. Artists, they struggle, they are broke, they are disillusioned, wengine wako depression, wengine, they don't know what to do, you know. So we are going to focus a lot on things that we believe are very important. They are fundamentally solid, so that now artists and creatives can think about or can channel their energies on things that can help them make money. So in this edition of Creative Beat, I'm going to be talking about how we need to optimize, how we need to utilize, how we need to be very serious about content creation as artists, as creatives, sisi kama wasanii hapa Kenya, so that we can align ourselves for money. And like I said in the last video, it is my honest belief and conviction that the growth, the explosion, the exponential burst of content creation, social media, digital media, internet connectivity, mobile connectivity, especially hapa kwetu Kenya, creates an immense opportunity for us to make money better. I don't want to say that it is going to be easier. No. I just mean that it is going to be, if we are deliberate, for those of you who will be serious about it, I believe that it is going to be, itatuondolea that challenge of not having money, okay? Itatuondolea that challenge of not connecting to the right audience. Itatuondolea that challenge of how do we market ourselves as artists and as creatives. So in case you had not taken time to watch the last short video that I recorded, it's on this channel. I was talking about, I think I had six main, at the heart of the challenges that we face. There are 6 core problems that we face, okay? Including things like, you're very talented, but people don't know. So wewe uko tu hapo na amazing work as an artist and a creatives, but people don't know you. The other thing is that as artists and creatives, tunakuanga watu disorganized sana, okay? You have not designed your career, you have not well thought out how you'll position yourself, who is your target audience, how do you grow, what are your aspirations, blah, blah, blah. We also spoke about how do we monetize, how do we get paid, how do we price. You know, we don't know those things. Those are challenges that we have. So take time, go and watch. It's a very short video, so it won't take much. It will give you a little background about what I want to be talking about today. And even what I'm talking about today is also very close to my heart, because so we come from that diagnosis. Unajua ukienda hospitali, the doctor gives you a diagnosis, or the clinician there, they tell you, hey, hii ndio shida. But that's not it. Now, we need treatment. We need solution. We need action. So is there going to be a change of diet? Is there going to be some medication? Is there going to be some bed rest needed? Is there going to be some exercise needed? And that's why we are here today. Thinking about sisi kama wasanii here in this country called Kenya. This country that in Africa leads in terms of digital connectivity, in terms of digital innovation. Of course, we sing every day about M-Pesa. Talking about connectivity, internet connectivity, the government has taken great measures to make sure that fiber inawekelewa kuenda mpaka Northeastern, mpaka Turkana, wapi. So we are one of the best connected internet-wise countries in this side of the world. So, but how can we have so much opportunities? How can data be telling us that Kenyans globally, the world, dunia yote, we are the ones who spend most time on the internet? What are we doing spending 5 hours, 11 minutes? That's our average as a country from verified data that we spend online. 5 hours. Kenyans spend 5 hours online on social media, scrolling TikTok, wherever, YouTube, and we are the highest globally. So how can we, as artists and creatives, tap into that and use it? Because usanii, creative industry, is the biggest beneficiary of the opening up of opportunities, of the exponential growth of social media and digital media, of the content industry. We stand to benefit most. So it is only up to us that we take advantage of that and ensure that we don't be as broke as we have been. So this video is not about how you can become a better dancer or a better thespian or a better vlogger or a better painter artist or a better sculptor or a better interior designer. No. It's not about that. We already know that you're good at that. But the problem is that you're skilled, you're talented, but you're not making money. People don't even know that you exist. People don't even know that you have 20 paintings in your house, under your bed, or somewhere on top of a wardrobe. People don't know. But this video is going to break down, is going to act like a playbook, like a guide, and tell you exactly how you need to get out of that space of invisibility, that space of not being known, that space of random, uninspired social media posts, that space of lack of focus, that space of not knowing who your target audience is, that space of zero digital media presence, that space of not having even a simple blog, that space of not having a website, into a space where you are deliberate, you're strategic, you are consistent, you have a solid, very solid personal brand or business brand positioning. And then once everything is set, it becomes much easier, much faster to attract money as an artist and as a creative. So what we are sharing is that digital media is infrastructure, okay? That is a gospel that I preach every time I create a video, every time I post content, every time I talk about digital media. You have to work from a content infrastructure. Hakuna random, hakuna guesswork, hakuna today you have woken up, you're posting like this, like that. No. It has to be strategic. It has to be planned. It has to be well researched. It has to be consistent. If that is not what you're doing, mimi nitakuwa advise tu wewe rudi nyumbani, continue watching Netflix, tutaonana another time, okay? It is very important that you realize if you want to be different, you have to be deliberate, you have to be even aggressive, because hii space ya content nayo is very merciless, is very ruthless. Competition is very stiff for online attention. Once you do that, I believe that the trips, the plans, the ideas that I'm going to share with you guys in this video are going to help you and move your career as an artist and a creative from here to here. Na utakuwa umeji-align to make more money, to make faster money, and sometimes maybe even to make easier money. The first thing I have to tell you, or I want to clarify, I need to talk about is what is digital media, what is social media, what is content creation, what is the creator economy, what is digital economy. Hizi words zina confuse sana, and it is okay, because I can tell you, even from my own research and what I have been doing for a number of years, the world is still trying to settle. Ni kama saa zile mtu anapigangwa kofi, ukizabwa kofi, kwanza unapata kizungusungu before you settle. That's where the world is when it comes to digital media content creation. We don't even know how we arrived here. However, some things are clear. You know, number one, social media is important, but that's not everything. In fact, as people, we have overrated social media. And we have ended up at a position where we equate social media to digital media. But the truth is that digital media goes beyond TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter X, Threads, Snapchat, YouTube. Digital media is way beyond that. Just to give you an example, you have websites and blogs, which is a website is considered the final resting place. It's considered a hub of everything else. Okay? The danger with social media is that hiyo ni nyumba ya landlord. Na landlord anaweza amua kukutimua anytime. That is why one of the biggest problems with social media has been changes in algorithm. Okay? That all of a sudden Instagram decides we are going to hide views. So we cannot tell. Other people cannot tell if your video has been watched by how many people. So algorithm is a good and a bad. It's a double-edged sword. It helps us with discoverability, but mwenye nyumba akidecide hataki hivi, there is nothing we can do. One of the things that's happening today on a lot of social media platforms is if you try to share links to other areas, to a website, to YouTube, to another social media platform, wananyonga hiyo kitu sana. You know, they suppress it. And that is an algorithm change that we cannot control. Nyumba ni ya wenyewe. So let's be clear. Digital media is way beyond social media. But social media is powerful. It has its place. We have email. We have SMS broadcast. We have WhatsApp. Of course, WhatsApp belongs to Facebook, Meta, the big company. But you have much more control on WhatsApp as a messaging platform with the channels, the groups, the broadcasts that happen there. The other thing is, something like the Substack and other newsletter publishing platforms, etc., etc. Even Telegram. Those ones are more in control, more than the traditional social media platforms that the owners and the architects always are changing every time to suit their needs. So it is important that we understand the space we're working from. So what are we looking at when I say that artists and creatives, we need to be more involved in content creation, in digital media, in content marketing? Why is it important? Because wewe kama msanii, create content consistently, coherently, clearly, in a designed manner, it means that every 24 hours, from hour 0 to the hour 24, the whole day, you have a system out there talking on your behalf, shouting about your work, positioning you, looking for your target audience, presenting the art that you create, showcasing your expertise, and it is through digital media that you're able to attract the kind of people who need your stuff. If you're an interior designer who does African kind of designs, the day somebody needs African kind of interior design and interior decor, and you consistently showcase stuff about what you design in that space, then those people will not struggle. They'll just know, Nderitu, nikitaka interior decor ya African is the right person to do, because you have already positioned yourself that way. When you create content, when you're out there very aggressive on digital media, you communicate value. Sisi wasanii tunakuanga misunderstood sana. People think we are weirdos, people think we are crazy. It's been like that for centuries, and it's understandable. Because, some people have said that art, we are high up there with the gods, story for another day. But every time you consistently, coherently, in a designed fashion, present content, then you communicate value to your target audience. More and more interaction, wale watu wana watch content yako, wanasoma, wakiona, they are like, okay, I never looked at it that way. When somebody sees you paint, when somebody sees you write your calligraphy, when somebody sees how you finish a graffiti on a 10-meter wall, they'll be like, yo, I've never seen something like that. So that's how it goes. And they see how skillful you are. The next minute when you send your invoices, be like, huyu mtu anajua kazi yake, something like that. And then definitely, at a certain level of content creation, you're going to bring money. And I'm going to get to that around 0.3 or 0.5 or 0.6 about how deliberate, consistent, well-structured content creation for artists and creatives inakuweka kwa line ya kuleta do, okay? It is going to ensure that you bring money way and above your photography work, your interior design, your fashion design, your dancing, whatever it is that you do in the creative industry. So it is important that we understand the scope, the space that you're operating from. The core work that you do does not change, okay? If you're a theater actor, please continue doing it. But now add another layer of content. If you're a comedian, you're already creating your content if you're recording it. If you're a set designer, if you're a sound technician, if you're a lighting technician, if your work you do is dance or a model, or you organize pageants, you do makeup, we are not telling you to stop. If anything, you must continue creating the art and the designs and the creativity that you do. But over and above that, add a new layer of work, add a new layer of output called content creation. Ile kazi unafanya haiwezi isha, because that's where your actual money is going to come from. But guess what? Remember, if you add another layer of content, it means that you're also adding another layer that can be monetizable in the near future. So then that leaves us with what does that content involve? From a very fundamental point, we have a lot of BTS, okay, behind the scene. There is a lot of behind the scene content that we need to create. Some of you, if you're like Nderitu here, you are going to create educational content. You want people to learn something. You want people to understand something better. You want to mentor somebody. You want to give some more direction, insight, perspective, informed opinion, okay? The other thing that you want to do is storytelling, okay? We have a lot of stories as Africans. So from behind the scenes to education to storytelling, and then that forms the basis for the kind of content that we want to create. So depending on the kind of content you create, then that also determines what kind of audience you're going to attract, okay? For me, I do a lot of education stuff. I have been teaching for many years. I mentor, I guide. I have had people come to me for career guidance. So that's what I do. So they're the kind of audience, the kind of people that my content attracts. If you're a comedian, you will attract the kind of audience that is looking for entertainment. If you're a professional wildlife photographer, they are the kind of people who are in conservation or whatever that you're going to attract. If you're a serious pro high-level filmmaker, ile content una post, again, high up there, there is a kind of audience that you're going to attract. So everything that you do around this digital sphere is going to determine what kind of audience do you attract. And I hope that the kind of audience you attract are the ones that who want to buy your goods, who want to buy your services, and they are going to convert whatever it is that you produce to money. This is the right time for Kenyan artists and creatives to start being aggressive in their content marketing, to help them elevate from a very average position to a much more excellent, much more productive, much more money-making position. It is the right time. And why do I say this? I say this because globally, sahi kila kitu digital inawaka tu moto. You know, everything is just active, burning on all pistons. Okay, so this is the right time. And the sad part about this video, kwa wale watu that I watch, perhaps maybe 10 or 20% are going to activate. Hiyo ndio inakuanga reality ya life. You know, I know without sounding like a doomsday prophet, but it's just the reality. Not everybody is going to activate. But I'm here for the few who are ready to activate and put what I'm going to share into action. But I must repeat that this is the right time. If you look at the way TikTok is moving, expanding, and having a lot of traction and engagement, if you look at this country itself, our advantage position in the grand scheme of things as a continent and globally, Kenya is at a great advantage. So let's not ignore that, you know. So it's the right time as Kenyans. I don't know about other countries in Africa and other parts of the developing world. Lakini sisi kama wa Kenya, we are at a great advantage. So we must not sleep, okay? The other thing is that things have become cheaper, easier. You know, we have smartphones, we have cheap bundles and internet connectivity. We have everything. Even this, our government that we love to hate, is trying to do things, you know, Ajira, what programs for young people, for digital economy, blah, blah. I mean, everything is set. So it's ours for the taking, you know. It's ukijikuta that you're not able to advance your career, you're not able even to make your basic money. Yet we are in an era that puts us at an advantage as a country, especially for young people. Then ni sisi tu tutakuwa tumejiharibia. You know, you are the ones who just have ignored what you're supposed to be doing. The other thing is that there is something called discoverability that has improved. And this brings me back to TikTok. You know, discoverability means that online, you are an artist in Lamu, in Mandera, in Turkana, in Kapsabet, in Mwingi, in Meru, in Nyeri, wherever you are across this country, whether in Nairobi, in the cities, or elsewhere. Kitambo, these industries used to have what we call gatekeepers. Okay, industry iko na wenyewe. Wewe ni comedian, unataka kwenda wapi? How do people even discover you? There were those days of Churchill and whatever, and even before that. Today, digital media has broken the barrier for discoverability. It's you, your smartphone, good sound, good picture, and TikTok and other platforms. You go there, if you're good at what you do, trust me, in 3, 6, 9, 12 months, tutakuwa tumekujua, and a few brands will already have approached you to give you some little money so that you can have brand partnership and they can pay you. You know, so zile industry ati kulikuwa na watu sijui the gatekeepers have left. If you're not being discovered, you're the one gatekeeping for yourself. Okay? So there is nobody to blame. It's just your inactivity, your laziness, your passive approach to your career is the one that is stopping you. Okay? Then why I am sad is because when I said not a lot of you are going to do this, there is something called first move advantage. Okay? First move advantage means the people who do something in the early stages, they are always at an advantage. So do not wait for May, for June, for July. Start now. The things that you're going to learn, whether on this video or from a further research, once you're done watching this video, it is entirely up to you. And remember, opportunity loves speed. Opportunity loves speed. So the things you learn, as I share in this video, move immediately and you will be at an advantage compared to your peers. So start with what you have. Start with your smartphone. Start with your ring light. Start with a cheap microphone. Start with whatever you have. Start with a free website. Start with free chat GPT or Gemini or Claude or Grok, whichever it is that you use to start where you are. And as long as you start, everything else is going to align. I mentioned that I have a short prelude video before this one. So I don't know if you'll watch it after this or some of you have watched it. But the important part is that it talks about being invisible. You know, sometimes, especially kwetu sisi wasanii, you go online and you check out some people. I remember when our Photographers Association was very vibrant, and we had these famous photographers, and sometimes tulikuanga haters sana. Wenda tumeketi hivi tunaongea photographers and we start saying, hata kazi ya Nderitu hata sijui nini anafanya. Hiyo kazi hata si kali. But guess what? My blog has more views. So you who has amazing work, my dear excellent photographer, did not create a website. You did not have a blog. You are not posting consistently. So you're sitting there and hating. You know, tunasema, hakuna huyo photographer X akona kazi yake ni average lakini anajifanyanga tu, yeye ndiye anapata 2 deals na watu wa Canon na Nikon nini. That is the problem that we have. You guys are talented, you're highly skilled. You have amazing work. We have photographers with tons of hard drives with amazing work. But you don't post it. Shauri yako. You have paintings. You have amazing paintings and drawings that you created. People can pay. They can pay you for that work. But you cannot just take your phone and give us a time lapse of how you paint, how you draw, how you write calligraphy. And people will just marvel at your skill and talent. And they'll be like, I want a painting like that for my office, for my house, for my wherever, or for portraits, or, caricatures or something. So, wewe uko na amazing work. You're highly skilled, highly talented. You do excellent output. But guess what? You don't show the world. You just continue keeping it. We will know if you will make money or not. Shauri yako, if you don't show it. So, when you're creating content, as an artist, it's your work to make sure it is clear. If it is clear, you will be visible. Concise, you should know what exactly you're doing. You're going to be visible. If it is going to be searchable, means your brand is going to be visible. If it is engaging, then you're going to be visible. So, lazima uongeze aromat kidogo so that it's engaging. Don't just post and flat and just like that. We are artists, we are creatives. Package it in a way that will make us want to engage, want to comment, want to forward it, want to share it, want to repost, want to ask your question. That is what brings engagement. Searchable. Those of you who post videos, you must accompany them with captions. If you have a website, eventually you have to think about search engine optimization. And now we also have other kinds of search because of AI and Gen AI. Go read and study about that. You have to be concise. I said your content lazima ikuwe system. Hakuna random posting ati leo unaamka unasema what do I want to post today? Okay, let me post this. Let me post me sitting here having a cup of... It has to be a system. You have to know, what am I posting on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday? What do I post on weekends? What do I post when people are talking about certain topics that are relevant to what I do? It has to be well thought out, designed, planned, strategic, etc. Okay. The other important thing is that when we complain about the less talented ones, sahi, the ones who will be found, the ones who will sell, the ones who are visible, are the ones who are aggressive in their digital media presence. The more aggressive and the more consistent, let me not forget that word, the more consistent you are as an artist or as a creative in Kenya who is aiming at utilizing the opportunities that digital media have brought are the ones who are consistent and who are aggressive. That means, essentially, the more you post, the more visible you will be. The more active on different social media platforms you are, hata YouTube, hata LinkedIn. For the graphic designers, the videographers, those of you who are looking for B2B clients, if you're active on all social media platforms, trust me, you have a higher chance of conversion, of visibility than the person who is not on all social media platforms. And finally, you have to be deliberate about your personal brand, okay? Take time to study, take time to research, take time to watch videos and read articles about personal branding, because personal branding is important for everybody. Personal branding si ya wakubwa, si ya CEO, si ya wakubwa peke yake, si ya thought leaders peke yake, si ya experts peke yake. Personal branding is for everybody, because who is your target audience? How do you speak? What's their language? What are they looking for? What do they want to see here? And what are their problems? Okay, so personal branding should answer all those questions about your target audience, about what you do, why you do it, for whom, where, to achieve what kind of goals, okay? And once you design everything, once you design your content system, then there is going to be precision. Precision about your target audience, precision about your message, precision about your skills, precision about how you price your work, precision about everything that you do. And the more precise you are, the easier it is for you to convert your clients. The more random and ambiguous and neither here nor there you are, the harder it is to convert to your potential clients and your target audience. Unajua, for the longest time, me observe venye tuna handle social media. And then I realized it's like we have everything turned upside down. I know we really love TikTok. It's come up to number 3 right now, But a lot of you, especially young people, you have ignored platforms like Facebook. That's a discussion for another day, but allow me to mention it here briefly, that Facebook is a number 1 platform. They keep switching depending on the metrics that you use. Facebook and WhatsApp. Of course, we are all very active on WhatsApp. But TikTok is very important for discoverability. TikTok is very engaging. I think when you talk about engagement and discoverability, TikTok is number 1, not just Kenya, but everywhere else. So it is important to understand that it drives a lot of discoverability. TikTok forced the whole of the social media platform to become TikTokized. Now everybody's pushing video, everybody's pushing reels. That's how powerful TikTok is. Instagram is important for selling things that are likely to be visual. Kama kuna watu wanauza vitu, Instagram ndio wanauza sana. Of course TikTok bado iko hapo, because if you're selling laptops, if you're selling computers, if you're selling clothes, Instagram huko nini, models wanachapa ma reels, and you're able to sell. If you go Facebook, sisi madinosaur tuko huko wazee, but I also tell young people, take time to go also on Facebook, have an account, see what's happening, because you need to reach the old people who are on Facebook, and you need to know what's happening there. The older, serious people, I know some of you are avoiding it because your parents are there, but if you're serious, you also should be on Facebook. because we are also on TikTok, okay? Those of you who are targeting corporate business clients, LinkedIn is your home. Okay, do not ignore LinkedIn. What am I saying in all this? I'm saying you need to understand the platforms are for which function. Okay? Ukienda LinkedIn, unaenda kufanya nini huko? Unajua? Huko LinkedIn, hakunanga jokes sana. People are a bit too serious. Okay? Facebook, you can use any language you want. You can spell right anything you want. People won't ask you. TikTok moves very fast. You need to know what's happening there. Do you have a website? And what kind of website do you want? Do you want a free one, WordPress? Do you want to be on Wix? Or do you want a free blog? Why? What is going to be on your website? Are you thinking about it? Okay. Are you going to open a YouTube channel? Do you have what it takes to sustain, to create, to operate a YouTube channel? Okay. What are you posting on WhatsApp? Which number are you using on WhatsApp? Are you using your main number, or are you going to use a different number? Are you going to have a different smartphone for WhatsApp? A business account on WhatsApp? Are you on Telegram? For what? Okay. For example, the reputation of Telegram in this country is not the best. But I can tell you some of the best monetization models for owned audiences, is on Telegram. Very serious stuff happens on Telegram, away from what we know it for in this country. So make sure ukianza kurevamp social media zako, ukitaka kuweka website, if you want to have a blog, if you want to do email marketing, if you want to do SMS marketing, if you want to open a YouTube channel, WhatsApp, you know exactly what you're doing, and you don't have to start with all of them at the same time. You can decide to start with 1, 2, or 3, and then once your engine has more strength, once your system is stronger and bigger and more efficient, and you can handle more, then at that time, you can expand to all the social media platforms. I know most of you, okay, watu wako na Twitter account lakini password mulipoteza, is fine. But those of you who want to do thought leadership, those of you who want to share opinions, those of you who want to, mambo iko level juu kidogo kiasi, then Twitter is also good. Twitter might not be the best place to sell your laptops or to sell your fashion designs or your crafts, jewelry, or to post your makeup videos. It's not the best channel, but you can still post about it. But you may have to customize, the kind of stuff that you want to do. So take time and understand where you're doing, on what channel, understand how your website will be, understand why you need to do email marketing, the whole ecosystem of content, of digital media, of how you reach your potential clients. Make sure it is well thought out and it is deliberate. Let me talk about the actual work of content. Hapa ndio unatoa jasho, sababu you have to put in the work, you have to do the hours, you have to do the heavy lifting, as they like saying. So when it comes to content, I have mentioned a few minutes ago that you need a content system. Lazima upange, how am I going to do my content for the next 1 week, 2 weeks? Hata ukiweza, have a content plan for the next 6 months from an overview perspective. So utasema, in April of 2026, I will do A. In May, I will do B. In June, I will do C. Then you take A and you break it down into pieces. Take B, you break it down into pieces. Take C, you break it down into pieces. Like that, okay? And the advantage is that AI has come in to help in what is called ideation and iteration. When you're brainstorming and doing all that, AI should help you to make that much faster and much easier. And then now you infuse it with the knowledge and understanding of the kind of work that you do. And briefly, I'll give you a small tip on how you can do it. It's called anchor and derivative model. Anchor and derivative model. So this means that, like what I do, I will use myself as an example. So I have this YouTube video. Okay, this YouTube video, which is a Creative Beat podcast, solo podcast, is approximately 1 hour long. This one could get longer, maybe. By the time we finish, we will know. So I have this, and it is a block of content. You get? And then from here, I could extract 10, 12 video reels, short. That is one. Number two, I'm going to write an article on the Karakana Online blog. Number three, I could extract 2, 3, 4, 5 posters, which are like quotes, strong, powerful, mic drop kind of quotes from what I have been speaking today. And those will be designed, graphic design, static poster posted on social media. At some point, we will also share a highlight video from the whole podcast. And then, you could even share just behind the scenes of this podcast itself. So I said it is called an anchor and derivative method that is going to save you the problem of creating content. I must warn you, do not create content every day, but distribute content every day. So in 2 weeks, you could take 1, 2, 3 days to create content. Seriously. Kama leo ni siku ya kurecord hii video. But then in 2 or 3 days, you have created everything else that you need that is going to run for a week or 2 weeks, sometimes even for 3 weeks. So your work becomes much less, but you must be aggressive in the distribution of the content. The reels, you can share them almost on all platforms. The posters, you can almost share them on all platforms. The link to your article or blog post, it's up to you to decide where you're going to post it. And that way is going to help you to avoid overworking on content. Remember, your work is to work on your art. You're supposed to work on your art, on your creative output. You're not to be working on content the entire time. It is going to take a fraction of your time, but it should not be that ukiamka unaamka to create content. Ukiamka, you're supposed to be creating your art. So to avoid burnout, learn how to work with the anchor and derivative model for content so that it saves you. It is going to save you a lot of energy, a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of stress trying to think, okay, leo ni Thursday, nita create nini? Sunday, Sabato, what am I going to create? And that makes your work very easy, but it's going to ensure that you're consistent and you have a content system that keeps churning out content, but most importantly, keeps distributing content in your digital platforms all the time. I know some of you are asking, where is the money? Number one, the money is in your creativity, is in your work. If you're a fashion designer, if you're a textile designer, if you're a makeup artist, if you're an illustrator, if you develop computer games, whatever it is that you do, if you're a spoken word artist, if you're a poet, if you sing music, if you do comedy, lazima tukumbuke, that's where the main money is. However, some of you might be squarely in the creator economy. Remember the creator economy, the epicenter of the creator economy is those who make money because of the attention that their work brings. Okay? Eric Omondi, Eve Mungai, and all these people, they are squarely in the creator economy because their comedy, their work, their stories attract eyeballs. They have audiences that they can monetize. But if I'm a graphic designer sharing how I do my graphic design work, it is very hard for me to monetize my audience. But from my graphic design work or from my production sound engineering or from my stage lighting content that I create or from my theater work or from my design, interior design content that I can create, I can get more consultancy work. I can get brand partnerships from paint companies, from tile companies, from interior design material companies, okay? I can get a deal with tile and carpet or from any other company for brand positioning because I post content about interior design so that my audience, which is interested in interior design, can go to tile and carpet instead of Victoria Furnitures, okay? So we have brand partnerships, we have consulting, we have digital products. I could decide that now because I have a good audience and I have been talking about interior design, I now want to start selling something, maybe a short course, maybe some webinar, maybe an ebook about interior design. And that is something that you can monetize. I could decide to conduct a webinar or a workshop about something to do with interior design. So I'm giving that example to show that over and above making money out of your art and creativity, you can multiply your revenue channels. But then it takes some time. You know, lazima ukue umetoka hapa, you have a good audience, your niche, your area of expertise is very precise and clear to your audience so that people know that, ukitaka mambo ya interior design, go to this person. Ukitaka mambo ya interior decor, you can go to this person. And then, this is important to understand because it's easier to monetize a well-structured niche presence, digital media-wise, social media-wise, online-wise, than kuanza kupata followers kama 1 million, kama 500,000, kama 2 million, kama 100,000. It's easier to monetize a small niche target audience, target market, target area through consulting, through training like webinars and workshops, through brand partnerships, than to wait for being paid by Instagram, being paid by Facebook, being paid by Twitter X, because you have a big following, so they have advertising revenue, you know, because hata huko YouTube, you know, you must reach 100,000 subscribers, etc., so that you get paid. We already know on this side of the Sahara, they pay peanuts compared to other parts of the world, all that. It is good if I can join the Facebook monetization program. It is good if I can be on the Instagram payment plan. It is good if Spotify will pay. But you need to remember that if you have a more solid community following that is interested in your niche, then that level of money becomes easier than waiting ufikishe followers flani, so that now the platform has your attention, you know, so that they can now decide to pay you. So just know that there is opportunity to make money over and above the art that you do. Ushaika hivi ukajiuliza why some artists appear premium? You know, I'm still trying to wrap my hand around the fact that Kaka Empire did a show. I think he was charging 40,000. And then also Nyashinsky did some serious show at the Carnival the other day. And I would like to really understand at what point, you know, when we were younger, someone like Calligraph Jones was struggling, and then all of a sudden the guy became premium and became, you know, brand yake iko juu. If you look at even the comedians in our country, there are some who you will consider more serious. There are others who are just jokers, just like the jokes they crack, you know. Some look more serious, you know, they look more deliberate about what they do. They're even doing bigger projects. Ever asked yourself why? Some professionals, they charge and ask a premium, and everybody else is average. And everybody else has to struggle, has to fight for their space at the table. This is because of something we call brand positioning. It is closely related to, you know, the personal brand, which I spoke about a few minutes ago. And your brand positioning means that a few of you watching this video are going to position yourself premium, okay? It means that the more deliberate and more serious you position yourself, as a professional brand, we have been told that as artists and creatives, sisi na jina professional, we never meet. But it is only to our advantage that if we can learn to position ourselves professionally, and even will be better if we can do premium. And it is even better if you can do a very specific niche, okay? I remember I heard about some young men they are a team of, I don't know if they are chefs, and then they have a friend who plays violin, na hii kazi wanafanyianga tu wazungu. They go, they cook for wazungu, they play violin, they do what? Hiyo uzungu mingi, and that's what they do. That's a very serious combination, eh? I also know a guy who plays, a young man who plays a traditional instrument. I think he plays wandende. He plays instrument, violin, wandende, and orutu, and what? Choose where you want to play your game. If, as an artist and creative, you look generic, if you look scattered, if you look unclear, if you look disorganized, here pia ni brand positioning. So it's up to you to choose. Can we, as your target audience, from your online presence, from how you dress, from how you present your work, from when we visit your website, tell what you do, who you do it for? Can we tell your price range just by looking at your work, just like by looking at your portfolio? Can we tell what is your price range? And where does that bring you? So it means that you need to do a little bit of audit, uangalie, okay, what do my online profiles say about me? Does my website have my contacts? Does it have my rates? Does it have the best of my work? Does it have work that is related to what I do, or it has random showcase of what I do? So all I'm trying to say is that you have to be sure about how your brand as an artist, as a creative, is going to be presented to people. Because if you do high-level fashion design, then you must present it as high-level. Ni kumaanisha watu wanakulipa what? 50, 100,000 for outfits? So where are those people? How do those people operate? Because those people, they are not even in Java. They are in very serious places, okay? If the stuff that you're creating is for children, so then who's your target audience? It's parents. So where are the parents of children? Are they older, or are they younger, or are they middle-aged? And where are they? And if the parents look at you, do they feel safe that you're making things for children? Or if they see what you're doing, that you teach children music, that you teach children how to draw, that you teach children how to take photos, if they look at your profile online, do they feel that their children are safe? So there is a lot that you have to take time to consider in terms of your brand presentation, and it's very closely related to personal branding. Just ensure that you take time to design it, make sure that it is very well thought out, make sure that it is very well planned, and definitely make sure that it is consistent. This part that I want to talk about is something I mention often. Sababu sisi kama wasanii, many of us artists and creatives, we are introverts. We like operating in our own spaces, and we can do both good and bad all by ourselves, okay? That's what they say. But then I want to talk about the power of community and collaboration. One of the biggest weaknesses we have in the creative industry is associations, okay? I keep saying that the day we will strengthen our professional associations, this industry is going to move at a totally different speed, and it will change the direction that we are going. That's a story for another day though. But as wewe ukiwa kivyako kama msanii, whatever it is that you do, Do not ignore. Do not overlook. Make sure that you are collaborating and that you belong to a community or communities. Social media is an illusion, okay? And I'm coming from, I belong to the era that started Facebook, okay? Sisi tulianza na Facebook, sijui ilikuwa 2006, 2007, 2008 na huko. And these social media platforms have an illusion of false community. They have an illusion of, they call it social media, but of course, sai tumejua, it is antisocial. It's good for business, but socially speaking, we need real communities. We need networks, real networks. We need real connections. We need the human side of us to interact and collaborate. So make sure that part of what you do deliberately in your digital media plan is to collaborate, to network, and to have a community that you belong to. It may not be an association because, like I said, a lot of the professional associations in Kenya's creative industry are very weak. Others are dead. Others, they are non-existent. Hakuna, But at least make sure every week, 2-3 weeks, there is somewhere you walk to and meet people who are doing what you do. Make sure you walk somewhere, you meet people who are in the industry that you work in. I'll give you an example. If I'm a photographer, at some point I have to work with makeup artists, I have to work with stylists, I have to work with videographers, lazima nijue watu wa drone. I have to know the guys who sell the cameras, I have to know the guys who repair the cameras. There is an ecosystem around what you do. If you're in fashion, some of those people I have mentioned, they are the same people that you work with. If you're in fashion design and styling, you still have to work with photographers, you have to work with videographers, you have to work with makeup artists, hairstylists, you have to work with fashion stylists. So how do you build a system around you through collaboration, through a community, and through networking? And another thing that we have been encouraged a lot to do is personal projects. Before I forget to mention that. By the way, personal projects are very important kwa sisi wasanii because especially those of you who are starting out or who want to get into certain spaces, lakini haujui uanze wapi. If you want to get to wildlife photography and maybe you are looking to uanze kulipwa na watu wa conservation na watu wa National Geographic, lazima ujitume. If you want to be a fashion designer of a certain category, you must design those clothes, get models, get photographers, get stylists, take pictures, take reels, take videos, and then share them such that the day now somebody wants to pay for a specific style, they know, Nderitu can do this. Let me reach out to them, okay? Until you learn to do personal projects, which mostly are not paid for. You have to take money out of your pocket to finance them, to execute them. Collaborate with stylists, collaborate with other designers, collaborate with other people, photographers, so that you do these projects. Then when the project is out there, it's going to help you to position yourself. That can only be done through the power of community and collaboration. And this feeds into the grand scheme of things of your digital media, of your content system, okay? Because then it is going to take part of the burden of creating content from you. Unafanya hii personal project, muna collaborate na mtu fulani, it also multiplies your audiences. If you're collaborating with somebody X and you're here and another person Y, it means that all our cumulative audiences are going to be in one place. So it helps to multiply. That is the power, that is the importance, that is the relevance, that is the accelerating factor of community and collaboration. I've heard them say that professionals who behave like professionals get paid like professionals. So in the last video that I did, I mentioned that one of the challenges we have is that sisi wasanii we tend to be a little bit more disorganized. I'll even take it further. Watu hajui wanafanya nini. We are just gliding through life depending on the direction the wind will take us. Tuko tu. If I ask you kama uko na vision for the next 3 or 5 years, I don't know what you tell me. If I ask you where you want to be in 10 years, I don't know. If it is not clear in your mind about what you're doing. So what this does is that it's denying us a lot of opportunities. It's making it very hard for your clients to really want to buy your stuff, the things that you have, to use your talent, to use the stuff that you sell, to use your services. It becomes hard. So make this easier by number one, learning to price your work. Okay? I'm saying this because utaenda huko, uanze create content, and then people start asking you, usianze stories za DM for price. Okay? You must learn some of these things. So learn pricing models, learn pricing frameworks, at least to a very comfortable level. You know how you price your talent, how you price kama ni things that you make, maybe crafts and such, or the services and consultancy that you offer. Learn how to price. And it is going to, what that is going to do is that it's going to support vile una create content. Because uta create content, then people start looking for you. And then they ask you, so how much? You don't know. It is not clear. They ask many questions, you cannot answer them. Number two, protect yourself. Do not be vulnerable. Learn intellectual property, learn copyright, learn contracts. Again, basic 2 level. I'm not saying that you get complex and very complicated things. I will tell you for a fact here in Kenya, if you overcomplicate your part ya contracts and copyright and intellectual property, people are going to run from you. That's the way it is. You know, we are not in the US, okay? We are not in the US, we are not in the developed world, but still, you cannot be exposed as an artist and as a creative. Lazima u understand stories are copyright, lazima u understand stories are intellectual property, and at least let your quotations and your documents have some terms and conditions. You know, that way people are going to respect you. Remember I said if you present yourself as a professional, then you will be paid as a professional. So protect yourself and make sure those things are very, very, very solid. And this whole professionalization of how you package your pricing, how you package your terms and conditions is going to come in handy the moment sasa hii content creation yako starts converting, starts getting you new clients, starts getting you more clients. It is going to protect that bit. Nikienda kumaliza hii video, this is the part where I sound like a motivational speaker. It was not my intention to sound like a motivational speaker. But pardon me if I look like one. In fact, far be it from me to sound like one, because what I'm talking about is action. Action. Na kama nilivyosema before, if you're not going to take action, then rudi tu kejani, continue watching your series, your Netflix, or watching your reels on TikTok. Wachana na hii mambo if you're not going to take action. This part is solely for people who want to be serious and want to take action. Number one, you need to know what you're going to do today. You have been struggling, you have been broke, you have been lacking focus, you have been lacking vision kama msanii. If you want to utilize social media, content, digital media, website, to elevate your career, whether sahi when a beginner, ama uko mid-level. Some of you watching this are even, I mean, for us much older in our 40s, some of you maybe even in 50s. But you want real change, it must start now, it must start today, it must start this week, this month, this second quarter of 2026. So make sure you know what you're going to do today. Write down. whether it's on a Google document, on your phone message, notes app, or on a notebook. If you're like me, make sure you write down. What are you going to do today? What are you going to do in the next 2-3 days? What are you going to do in the next 1 week? What are you going to do in the next 1 month? What are you going to do in the next 90 days? Make sure it is very clear. There has to be action. Kuongea tunaongeanga mingi, but it will be pointless. You can live with information. That is okay. It's entirely up to you. Or you can leave this video activated. So make sure you have a system. Make sure you know where to start. Make sure, you can even start with your social media. Update your profile photo. Update your banner on Twitter. Update your YouTube description. Recover your password ya hiyo hujaifungua. Maybe what you need is to get another smartphone, get a different line. Somewhere. You must start somewhere, Just start somewhere. Just start. Go step by step. Make sure it's graduated. Usijihemeshe. Okay? Do not put too much pressure on yourself. Be realistic. Set realistic goals. Write down. Get some accountability partners. Put it somewhere. Put it on a sticky note. Wekelea hapo near your desk where you work. You can even do like vision boarding. Create a vision board. Whatever it is that you need to do. Just make sure that you act on it. And you don't have to start with grand actions. Just start small and let it grow and let it grow. Otherwise, kama tumeongea hii yote, I think it could have been more entertaining to watch a series or, there is a lot of entertainment online right now. Enda ukaone stories za mafuta nini. But I believe that for all of us will watch, we are going to leave this video activated. So by now, unafaa kuwa umeelewa what I have been telling you guys is that kwa mapana na marefu, all I'm saying is that you are now a media company. Okay? You are now a media company. I know umekuwa ukisema wewe ni msanii. I know you have been saying now I'm a fashion designer, I'm an interior designer, I'm a photographer, I'm a graphic designer, etc., etc. But guess what? You are now going to become a media company. Okay? So the important thing about, first, usijiite content creator. Again, one day I'll come back and talk about that in detail. Story of another day. You actually are not a content creator. You're just an in-house media company. You create the art. You do the creative work that you do. That is your work. But beyond that, the content that you create amplifies what you do. After the content has amplified, the platform distributes. Or do I say the platforms? They are the ones that distribute that content. And then the audience that you build over time is the one that will sustain you. Once you build trust, once they love and believe in what you do, they are the ones that will sustain your business because you will convert them. You will convert them into paying clients. So as we conclude this video, I hope that you have seen the value to either improve how you create content or to organize in a very well-defined system how your digital presence is going to be looking like in the coming months and the coming years. Because right now, there are no gatekeepers. Kama haufanyi content, wewe mwenyewe ndio unajifanyia gatekeeping. There are no gatekeepers. In whatever it is, whatever field of the creative industry you want, there are no gatekeepers. That one has been demolished entirely. We may remain with our problems. And I said we have very many. Whatever they are teaching us in schools as a creative industry is truly not relevant. I can tell you that for a fact. The policy in this country is either not being implemented or they are just old school. Angalia mambo ya wasanii, being paid their music, being paid for what. Look at how, ideas get stolen for movies and films and TV series. Our copyright IP system is weak. the regulation is weak. The understanding in the industry is also weak. So policy systems, they are against us, okay? Associations, they are weak. So as artists and creatives, we are coming from a very weak point, career-wise. But guess what? Digital media has come to save the day. But it is entirely up to you. Bidii ni yako, kazi ni yako, ama uzembe utakuwa wako. It's you who has to decide that the great talent that I have, am I going to sit on it or am I going to showcase it to the world? It's you to decide. And the minute you decide to jump out of that comfort zone, to jump out of that cocoon, to get out of your private space and, you know, hii mambo ya social media, mimi spendi sana, get out of it. Start creating content, get a solid plan, research, read, take time, ingia tu kwa hiyo mtandao, ask ChatGPT, ask Claude, ask Gemini, ask Grok, whichever one that it is that you use, ask, how do I do this? Tell it about yourself and say, how do I do this? Watch videos on YouTube, read articles that have been published, see what other people are posting on social media and learn from them. And once you do that, utakuwa umeanza safari yenye itakupeleka to the next level that you want to go. If you like this video, if it has given you value, if you believe that it is going to help you, if you believe that it's going to elevate how you're doing your career, then take time to share it with a friend, share it with your fellow designer, share it with your fellow actor, share it with your fellow drone operator, share it with your friend makeup artist, tell them about it, and give your comments also, ask your questions, and of course, remember to subscribe to the channel, and we'll be back soon with another edition of Creative Beat. Till next time, goodbye and have a good time.